Hello, lovely viewers. Welcome to the Real CHATBOX show with your cute host, O.B. Slender. On this show, we discuss pertinent social issues, education, entertainment, fashion, religion, wellness, mental health, what have you. What do they say? A healthy mind lives in a healthy body. So let's make our physical fitness a priority. Let's meet each week here with our distinguished guests. Cheers. Hello, lovely viewers. Welcome back to another episode on the Real CHATBOX show with your cute host, O.B. Slender. And this show is proudly sponsored by Duchess Merchants Capital, GH Media School, and Sound Bay Productions Limited. Today we have with us here somebody who is not new. She's been on this episode before. It was her life's journey with her special child. We are back here today to discuss how she's coping life after her child's demise and what she wants to do in memory of her child. She will introduce herself after this short commercial break. Stay tuned and don't go anywhere. Welcome back, my lovely viewers. We are here with Mrs. Adjetey, as I said earlier. Mrs. Adjetey, welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here once again. Thank you.
I want you to introduce yourself because I know you do a lot of things. I know you're a counselor, blah, blah, blah. So please introduce yourself properly to
My name is Irene Appiah Adjetey, a mother of a special needs child who passed. And I'm administrative officer. I work with the public service, and I'm also an advocate for persons with rare diseases and special needs.
Okay. So welcome once again. We know we are going to learn a lot because I know February is for rare disease. But is it 28th February?
Yeah, so the last day in February every year.
Every year, okay. So it could be 29th or 28th
exactly.
Because of
that
the
makes
calendar.
It rare. Yes.
You got me there. It's rare indeed. Okay. So I know Evangel passed. That was the name of her child, Evangel. He passed. And how have you been coping since his demise? Like, how has life after his demise been for you?
Yeah, initially it was hard. I mean, having a child with you for 4 years, and he passing, generally it's difficult, but thinking about him, his memory actually brings a lot of relief, smiles back, because we made things possible for him. I mean, we tried to make life a bit easy for him. So when we think about that, it actually gives us so much joy and kind of peace, because we did our bits.
Okay, so some people didn't get to watch the first episode. So what kind of rare disease did your child actually have?
Okay, so he had a rare condition. It's actually a genetic condition. Genetic in the sense that he got it from either one of the parents.
Okay.
So yeah, make it genetic. And it was creatine transporter deficiency.
Wow.
Yeah, so what it means is that the child lacks creatine. The body is able to produce, but he didn't have the ability, the organism that helps to transport the creatine wasn't there. So that is basically that. And it affects muscles, it affects his movement, everything that had to do with movement and ability to actually use his muscles. Yeah, so that was his condition.
Okay, so that is different from autism, because autism, they're able to move around and all that, like they have mobility ability, but with this one, that means there's no movement, nothing like.
Yeah, it's a spectrum, so definitely it will vary. It depends on how damaged the brain is, because it actually damages the brain. So
okay.
Yeah. And for his, he couldn't sit, he couldn't stand, he couldn't do anything.
Wow.
He didn't have neck control so much, so everything was actually done for him. He was severely disabled.
Oh.
Yeah, so we had to do everything. We had to think for him, we had to do everything for him. So cognitively, he wasn't there. Yeah.
That is very challenging for any parent any day. You know, in Ghana here, they will say, oh yeah, in Sioba and that kind, we don't have that education on these things that can happen during childbirth and all that. Like, so we give it names. It's quite difficult to be a parent of a special needs child. That I know, because I've been close a little, so I saw what you went through and all that. It's not easy. So like, what has been the most challenging part of your grief journey? Like, how have you been able to cope with all these feelings and, you know?
Yeah, as I said, I mean, we came to an acceptance, and I think it happened a bit faster than other families do. So we were hopeful for help, you know, cure for him. And we made plans to even relocate to a different country for help for him. And then, unfortunately, it happened. And it took some time. As I mentioned earlier on, it took a bit of really trying to think about what next. Okay, the child is gone, what next? Those were the questions that kept coming. What next? It's my life, because I moved from one place of having, you know, delivering and then the child having an issue, then you have to raise a child, and then the child is gone. It's been a journey.
Yeah, because even after birth, a mother can become depressed and all that. So even when the baby is normal and everything is fine, you go into a state of severe depression at times. So giving birth and realizing this has happened and all that, but you sail through. I know you're a staunch Christian, and your faith has that changed your stance on your relationship with God, like?
On the contrary, it's actually deepens my faith in God, because if I look at our journey, it's been Him from day one. I mean, I don't think myself, my husband would have been able to go through it without him, because when I look at me as a person, I have that soft spot for kids that go through difficult times. So it's rather the opposite.
Yeah. I think you've worked with children, special needs children before.
Yeah, way before I got married.
Way before you got married. Like, it's one thing working with them and one thing having another.
Exactly.
So, like, did your experience back then help you?
It did, to a point. I think that an experience with one parent, I think two, but then the one that really stands out is one particular parent who brought the child to school. I was a counselor in one mission school, and he had attention deficit disorder, something like that, and it was really difficult for the mother. You know, you could see depression, you could see a lot of things, and because the school didn't have the facility to assist the child, it was quite difficult, and the bullying and all that. So I had to step in, I had to counsel the mom and also report to the school administration to let them know what's actually happening, and also advise them on some of these things. So like getting close to the parents, a parent with a special, of a child with a special condition, I think that gave me an idea, you know,
of what was ahead.
At least. And then I've seen other parents too. I've worked with Autism Foundation. It was an advocacy group, I think. And yeah, so I saw how difficult it is for even parents to accept the situation. So I think I had an idea. But actually being a mother
with the child
of a child with it's a different thing altogether. But at least my initial experience helped, I would say. Helped, yeah, somehow.
So viewers, let's go for a short commercial break and come back to listen to more of her experience and how she's coped so far. We'll be with you shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back, lovely viewers. So we continue our life's journey with Mrs. Irene Adjetey. So as you were saying, like, it was quite difficult to be a mother of a special child than to work with her. At least it gave you a leeway on what to expect and all that. Okay, so like, how can others like best support people with special needs child? Like,
Yeah, I think support actually is very important. I mean, if a family handling a child with special need doesn't have the support, it's the implication is so much. I mean, it comes with stress, anxiety, social exclusivity, and all that. And actually, support helps. Support from family, support from work, support from the community. It really helps to ease the pressure. Yeah.
with support, this woman is an exceptional person. I call her my heroine for a reason. She had a child with special needs. She was going through a lot. Even one drug was costing how much?
I think we had to buy about five different medications, and the least was, I think, 100 cedis a day or so.
See, and she was going the extra mile to help other parents. Most of the time it was mothers, because the fathers will always run away and leave the child for the mother to cope alone, which is very sad. You are in together, but when there is trouble, they are nowhere to be found. And she kept soliciting for funds for mothers with special needs, trying to set them up on businesses and all that. So support is very, very necessary. Let's, as a community, let's try to help when we see people like that, and not shun them and look down upon them. It's very disheartening and heartbreaking. So as you were saying, the community, like, did you go through any form of disassociation, or let me say, were you hiding your child because you didn't want to go through things like that, like people looking at him in a certain way? Because obviously as a mother, when you see something like that, you are heartbroken. Like, you don't want to subject your child, even though he doesn't see what is happening around, but you feel the pain. Like, were you hiding him? Were you encouraging him to go out? Like,
okay, so for me, I think the experience I had with other families dealing with, conditions like that, it was kind of an awareness to me. So I'm glad that I got to know about these conditions that it happened. And I also watched some of the families, how they handle their kids. It was of a great concern to me that many of children like that will be kept in their room, denied of social gathering or activities like that. So for me, it was like an anger towards those, how do I say it?
Parents or
Perception or, narrative. And so it's very different for me. I would take my child out. I will go anywhere with my child. I will have birthday parties, bringing family and friends together. And I even had a social media account creating awareness of his condition, and also advocating for other children with conditions, special needs in general. Yeah, so for me, it didn't even click my mind to hide my child in any way.
Okay, so like in Ghana, do we have any organizations, since you're an advocate, like, do we have any organizations, or like, does the government have any policies in place for these children? Well, at least in my child's school, I know my girl had a special need child, and I think he had autism, by the way, in the same class. Like, is there a policy or anything that encourages parents to bring Like, or there's always a special school for them so they don't mingle with?
This issue of inclusivity, we have a policy, but its implementation is the problem.
It's
so
always that.
Governments try to encourage schools to include children with condition, but other children with cognitive, disability, it's quite difficult. So sometimes they have special school, but those ones are not government funded. It is private, and definitely it's difficult. How many parents are able to afford? And so it's nearly impossible for a lot of the population to access such facilities. In general, there's no government support except that of the NHIS. But even with the NHIS, it doesn't cover most of the medication. Most of the medication we were buying, we were spending close to 2,500 a month on medication for him, and it wasn't covered by NHIS.
And that is just for medication.
That's just for medication.
Other needs.
The other things like therapy, all the therapies. When I say therapies, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, speech, all that comes at a cost, and it is not we don't have any policy in Ghana that support that. And so now on this year's Rare Disease Awareness Day, we're trying to we have an open letter to the ministry, to the government through the Ministry of Health, to set up policies that would help, with this community of people. Because now, if I tell you, if you care to know, we have about 2 million people with rare disease in Ghana. Yes, 2 million. And if you do the calculation, how many, what's the population of Ghana? 2 million. And most of these people are children. And we don't have any policy in any way to support. So it is really a problem.
So I hope the government will take this up, because it's really a concern. If we're having 2 million of our population with such disease, and they are even kids, they are not adults, that you say they are old and they might pass very soon, they are kids. It's alarming. So I hope the government takes this up. So in memory of your child, Evangel, may his soul rest in perfect peace. He was such a lovely boy. I had the opportunity to meet him so many times and play with him. But it's disheartening. We wish it would have turned out differently, but God knows best, as your faith will teach you. So in all things, we give him thanks. What are you doing in his memory, knowing like how you have to support other mothers and all that? You've been through it, so you know it's not just medication, but other factors. Like, are you doing anything in his memory?
Yes. Before he passed, I used to support other families, because I saw myself as a middle income, person, Ghanaian who could go and come. I was able to work, but most of these parents are unemployed. Okay,
you were able to go and come. Was there somebody taking care of him whilst you were out?
Yes, I was really blessed with 2 wonderful people. Auntie Judith, she was Evangel's first caregiver, nanny, who came in and supported, I think when he was around 8 months to about 1.5 years. And then my kid sister, Gifty, that is Evangel's, best auntie, also supported a lot. And my husband has been the most amazing supporter, if I had to say that.
Mr. Adjetey.
Yeah, Mr. Adjetey he's so amazing. He's been a blessing, really, because most families don't get it like that.
The fathers will run away.
Yeah, and these issues also affect marriages a lot. A lot of fathers run away. Even mothers, some mothers do.
Abandon their children.
They do abandon their children, and it's disheartening. So I used to be in a support group. So there are support groups, there are advocacy groups around. And just to let the parents know that they are not alone.
Okay.
Also, when it comes to service, how to get some service, where to direct them to service, where they can get kind of service. So I do help support in my little small way, if I can say it that way, by sometimes trying to set them up in some business they can do to be able to buy diapers and medication for their children, because most of the kids suffer from seizures, and the seizure medication is very expensive. Yeah, that is the most problem with a lot of the kids, especially the cerebral palsy, kids with cerebral palsy and other congenital issues. Yeah.
Okay. So what is your project about in memory of your child?
Yes, so I set up the Evangel Impact Project.
Okay.
And this project is to support families of children with special needs.
Okay.
By elevating some of the financial burdens. And one way we want to do that is to set a diaper bank.
Okay.
Yeah, in our communities. So we will start with Accra, and then we will extend it to other communities, other regions and communities. So, and the other thing is to do with mental health. A lot of the parents, especially mothers, go through serious depression.
Sure.
Of even knowing about their child's condition. And then had to, go through life with them. Doing life with them is a serious deal. And so the project is supposed to,
cushion them a
exactly.
little.
So we are looking to start some diaper drive in our various workplaces and churches to see how much we can get so we can support these people. It will surprise you to know that some families had to actually make a decision between buying food and diaper. Yes, and I don't think any family have to make that decision. At one point, they are thinking about, should I buy diaper or should I buy food for the child? Wow. And that's a serious deal. It's a serious situation. But that, unfortunately, that's the reality. Yeah, it might sound weird to other people. They might like, this is unheard of, but this is the reality. And so we are hoping that this project would really help lessen the burden, the financial burden on families. Yeah.
Well done. That is a very thought-of project. Wherever Evangel is now, we know he's with our Maker, and he will be very glad that at least him coming to your life has impacted positively to people who really need help. So as Mrs. Adjetey is saying, she's doing a diaper drive, and anybody and everybody at all can donate to one diaper.
Yeah, actually our aim or our target is to to donate about 1 million diapers this year. Yeah, so we're hoping to launch the diaper bank and then the drive activity soon. Yeah.
So let's all be a part of this 1 million diaper bank. It is a very thoughtful and humane project. It will help, just help a brother, diaper. Whatever you contribute, it adds up to the 1 million diaper drive campaign. So Team Evangel all the way. We hope to make this project a very successful one. Mrs. Adjetey, thank you very much for coming on this show, and thank you for educating us, our lovely viewers, because initially we had the perception that if somebody has a rare disease or Yensuba is spiritual and all that, but it is not. It is just genetic, it is hormones, anything can happen. So when you go deliver, you come back with a whole child. Give praises to Almighty God. I'll see you soon on another Real Chatbox show. This is your host, O.B. Slender. Until then, cheers.